General Medicaid warning. The views expressed in 5-ish minute lore, the lore delivered in rants, are sanctioned by their scholar Progenium as excess rageous. Prolonged exposure can result in loss of IQ, high blood pressure, random outbursts, and blunt force trauma to the skull, resulting in unconsciousness. Please consult your local physician for more information.
The Dark Eldar, aka the Druhkari, the most evil people in the entire galaxy. What? You think I'm joking? No, I'm not joking. I'm being entirely serious. I'm a soulless automaton, an abomination, and I feel no shame in calling them the most evil people in the galaxy. And yes, that's saying something.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Today I'm talking about a civilization that is the definition of unadulterated evil. Doesn't matter the franchise, doesn't matter the war crimes, doesn't matter how sick and twisted your pick for the worst people in a setting are, they are Disney princess levels compared to the Dark Eldar, or as they are also known, the Druhkari. No, don't start talking in the comments about, oh, but you see, the blah are the... No! The Druhkari are so beyond fucked in the societal level that we don't even possess the vocabulary to describe it. Your average Druhkari has a record containing more depraved sex acts, murder sprees, and war crimes than most countries. In fact, if I were to go into detail about Druhkari lifestyle, my channel will get hammered harder than a $2 prostitute on payday with a discount. Druhkari might seem like they don't have a single law to follow, but there are laws. 3, in fact. 1, solve every problem in the most dickish, what the fucking hell way possible. 2, there is nothing sacred, and if there is, I'm going to fuck it. And number 3, don't do shit that will get you killed needlessly. Rule number 1 and 2 have been laid down for far longer than the Druhkari society itself has even existed, and go way back to when the Druhkari were the Eldar. You see, pre-Imperium Eldar society is best described as a species that founded TikTok and got rampagingly hooked on the dopamine hits from doing more and more outrageous shit, and they just kept plus-oneing each other right up to what is called the Fall. I'm gonna cover their history in another Voxcast, but here's the Cliff Notes version. Eldar society was fucking everything, and apparently got the Imperium pregnant. When the Imperium gave birth to the bouncing baby, what the fuck, it was taken to the top of Pride Rock, given the name Slaanesh, and Slaanesh promptly wiped out 90% of the entire Eldar species. The remaining population that became known as the Druhkari were the worst of the Eldar, who had literally made fortresses in the tunnel system through the warp called the Webway. The Druhkari immediately found something distressing, and that was that they couldn't die and reincarnate anymore. The addition of rule number 3 followed, and they desperately tried to find a solution to another problem they had. Fathering a Chaos God has a couple of unintended side effects. In particular, their souls were being sucked out. After masturbating furiously for an undetermined amount of time to this knowledge, the Druhkari discovered a solution to this problem. A small band of the Druhkari called the Homunculi, who even the bulk of the Druhkari consider sick fucks, showed everyone that by having others experience intense emotions, the Druhkari could essentially refill their souls before Slaanesh could suck them dry. After another period of furious masturbation, the Druhkari decided on the best course of action, and if you don't know what they did, just remember rule number 1 and you'll get it. They went out into the wider universe and began enslaving entire population segments en masse, dragging them back to their new capital called Kamarog and getting them to experience intense emotions. What kind of emotions, you ask? Puppies? Kittens? Hugs? No! Pain, humiliation, and extensive amounts of emotional trauma combined with horror, for as long as they can actually get their slaves to feel. Now remember something, Druhkari society spent not just millennia, but millions of years finding new and creative ways of feeling anything at all, much less intense emotions. They had done so many TikTok challenges, they had almost fully burnt out their dopamine receptors. Now you have these creatures who have been handed defenseless slaves and have no limitations. Yeah, no, you don't want to get captured by these things. They had a second problem. Millions of years spent going at it like rabbits had a profound effect on their reproductive ability. In short, natural-born children are difficult to make for the Druhkari. This might also have something to do with the fact if you put two of them in a room, they're most likely going to try to kill each other, then fuck each other, and not necessarily in that order. The only thing in shorter supply in Druhkari society than good intentions is trust. Druhkari pregnancies take years, and instead of having any sort of discipline whatsoever, the Druhkari found another solution. They yank the fertilized ovum out and throw it in a vat and walk away. This is how 95% of Druhkari are born and are simply dumped out into the streets to fend for themselves after being old enough to crawl. Druhkari society lives entirely by the sword, and if someone has power, they simply do whatever the fuck they want to without a single fuck to give. Slaves, pain, and selfishness are the base of the entire civilization, and yet somehow the entire thing hasn't come crashing down, which is a testament to their pure ruthlessness. In fact, the only thing they have access to that they absolutely deny is their psychic ability. The Druhkari are terrified of Slaanesh, and have cut themselves off from their ability to use the warp, so they won't risk drawing the Chaos God's attention. So they focus entirely on the physical. The Druhkari are in a constant state of Beachbody ready, and that makes it all the more disturbing because you get a bunch of closet masochists that want a Dark Eldar waifu, not realizing that they actually got one. She turned their foreskin into a lampshade. Druhkari society is driven by pain, doing everything it can to keep itself alive in the most depraved way possible. But while most of the species in 40k have a sense of tragedy about them, don't get it twisted. The Druhkari did this to themselves, and everyone else for that matter. In their selfishness, they have destroyed everything, and when every warning was there that shit was going to come crashing down, they didn't even try to stop, they only intensified. They are the worst type of addicts, causing pain, suffering, and hardship everywhere they go, and destroying the lives of anyone who become entangled with them. Going to their home is like walking into a sewage dump with evidence of their failure and arrogance littered all around like a hoarder, and the reek of body odor decay slaps the senses so hard it makes you recoil. They know it, they sense it, but they keep going. The Druhkari are an entire civilization of disappointments who would go out of their way to shit on everyone and everything around them on purpose, because they would rather be hated for what they do than what they actually are, because a single look in the mirror at the reflection of what they become would destroy them, because they are completely worthless. Behind all their spikes, leather, weapons, and tech, behind all the attention whoring and ego stroking, behind all the bluster, the Druhkari are cringe.